And our next speaker is a teacher, and Caroline Keep is going to be telling us about education. You're welcome to the stage. Caroline, please.
This is probably not going to be the talk that you expect it to be. In fact, it's probably not going to even remotely look anything like these slides. These slides are here to make this talk a bit more bearable while we get through. So, I'd like everybody to, at this moment, be aware that this is not the most easiest conversation. So, if you're of a sensitive nature, you might want to leave. Education. We all have this experience where we see these kids in schools, and we all have experiences of teachers. We all remember teachers. We all remember them fondly or not fondly. And I'd like to tell you a few bits about a young woman. There's a young woman turns up to secondary school. She's awkward, she's difficult, she's got braces. She is quite talented. She gets to about 14, and she goes to a teacher. She discloses to this teacher that she's currently being sexually abused, quite severely, been going on a very, very long time. And she puts it to them, and teachers support her. Teachers get her through it. Teachers take statements. Teachers put her through therapy. They get her organised. And you think this tale happens and it works out nicely, but it really doesn't. Through all of this, teachers stand by her. Unfortunately, she's the youngest of a series of people. And when it comes to court, it ends up that the person who's been persecuting this is too old to be prosecuted. All of the details go on file. And the young woman has a complete nervous breakdown. The perpetrator in question dies shortly afterwards of old age. There is no happy endings. At the time, the quote that was said in the newspaper was from her mother that said, "We have been through hell and back. Other people have come forward and nothing has been done." We see teachers in a way where we just see that they teach lessons. That's what they do. It has been 20 years since my mother said that phrase to the newspapers. I haven't spoke out in those 20 years. I was brave enough to be the first. I'm brave enough again. In 20 years, I've moved on. I had to relearn a lot of things. I had to relearn how to live. I had to relearn who I was. You often question if you're the same person or if you were the person you were meant to be. I'd like to say that I've never ended up depressed or miserable or suicidal ever again, but that's not the case. If anything, you learn to be better, and you learn to survive, and you learn to contribute. I contribute to teaching, because learning is one of the few things nobody can ever take away from you. You can teach something to a child and it will stay with them forever. And what you give to children when you teach them is freedom. Freedom to become whoever they would like to be. The freedom to be able to escape any consequences that they're currently in. The freedom to be who they want to be in the future. 1 in 20 in this room, so more than just me, will be me. 1 in 3 young women. 1 in 5 young men. 35% more reported cases this year alone. When we teach, we don't just teach. There's 27 other roles that I have other than a teacher. Everything from police officer to fashion police, poking them with a stick, saying to them pull the skirt down, turning up and fire brigading, and everything else in between. I'm a social worker, I'm a confidant, I am 1,000,001 other things to my students. But I am also the very, very baseline. I am the one that sees them all the time. I am sometimes, like in my case, the only sanctuary and the only place that they can go to. We should value education. We should value it in the way that it is, the freedoms that it gives you. Value your own education. Because in taking your own education and in inspiring young people and in learning, it is a skill set that you will always reap rewards from. You will always get something from learning something and teaching something to somebody. We don't value our teachers as much as we should do. They are doing a difficult job. 80% of them are currently thinking of leaving. And that is my alarm to tell me that I am done. I put it on just for the simple reason that this talk is not an easy one to get through. And I just wanted to point out to you, you should really think about learning, your own learning, and teaching other young people, because it's freedom that you're learning and it's freedom that you're giving, the freedom to be whoever you want to be. Thank you for listening.